I wonder how many people have already paused the video just to go to the comments section and go, how fucking dare you criticise Assassin's Creed? It's my life, I want to marry it, have 6 kids with it, and then eat them all one by one. I wonder how many people are already in the comments now. Okay, if you are still watching, please hear me out, because I promise I'll try to clear everything up as much as possible and hopefully sound less like a villain. So as you probably are aware if you've seen a recent video of mine, I have expressed some concern regarding Ubisoft's upcoming announcement of Assassin's Creed Odyssey in my video going over the teaser, but haven't really touched down on the issue or explained it well enough to make people understand exactly where I'm coming from. If you've made it this far into the video, thank you so much. So many people just click on the video, pause it immediately, dash to the comments and type "fuck you, Assassin's Creed is always great," with various spelling and grammar errors and chromosomes all over the fucking place. It's a mess. But that's fine, you know. I consider those the unintelligent ones. If you're this far, obviously that's not you. So, stick around and I'll explain everything to the best of my ability here. Now, you could say it's too early to be expressing concern for a game when we've seen a title card and about 2 seconds of footage, which is so fast paced and it's just literally a Spartan kick. It's an Easter egg really, it's fuck all, and there's literally nothing else either. And you've got a point. My concern is not with Odyssey specifically. The game could be great, in fact the game could be fantastic, but that's beside the point. As I said, my problem isn't with Odyssey, but instead it stems from what Odyssey insinuates. Now, we know Odyssey will likely come out this year. It's a game that's significantly reusing assets from Origins, we know that. Ubisoft wouldn't throw all their hard work that they spent building an engine just for Origins and then move on to the next. It's not how they work. Therefore, we can deduct that if Odyssey is getting announced at E3, which Ubisoft has confirmed with a teaser saying "see you at E3", then the game's launch will follow pretty soon after the fact in the grand scheme of things. There'll be nothing particularly revolutionary about how the game plays to suspend fans in anticipation if they decided to drag the promotional period out for too long. That's not to say that the game won't wow anyone, but its wow factor won't be as deep set enough to warrant a longer hype period. Now let's get over to what I'm concerned with here. Like I said, Odyssey could prove to be another banger, just like Origins before it. It could be a great game, but if Ubisoft commits back to releasing Assassin's Creed games annually, which one game released the year after the last, though may seem like an indicator, is not set in stone as one, then eventually the franchise will get back to the fatigue that it experienced in the Syndicate and Unity days. And no matter which way you cut it, even if you like those games, you must admit there's a bit of fatigue there, because I mean, Exhibit A, Exhibit B,
Assassin Christmas.
But Fizhy, you fucking moron, they fixed Unity later. Emphasis on later, alright? Your argument is undermining your argument. Unfortunately, there's only so much that anybody can do on a yearly release cycle. No matter how many teams you dedicate to the franchise, you can make it agreeable or even good through hard work, money, manpower and sheer dedication to the task, sure. But without the time taken between games, there's little room to improve upon the fans' criticisms if they're more fundamentally aimed, until 2 or 3 games later, which is harmful to the franchise if you think about it. Now, Odyssey could be an exception. You could argue that they got an extra year to work on this when Origins did in 2016, but let me ask you this: how could fans provide constructive criticisms needed to make the following game thoroughly better if it's already late in development when the current game is out? The next game wouldn't be able to improve on all those criticisms, there's no way, and suddenly those criticisms, if at all acknowledged, would have to be acknowledged further on down the line. And by the time you get that far down the line, you've already alienated the fans who are asking for these improvements, and suddenly you're making games for an audience that likes different things entirely. And that's kind of what happens with mainstream games. And that is a vicious cycle. Like I said, the franchise could thrive for a few years off the back of Origin's success, with Odyssey maybe being of similar quality, and the game afterwards may be the same, but eventually the franchise will burn out if yearly releases return. And that's only an if, remember. Just because Odyssey's coming out the year after Origins did doesn't mean that there'll be another game next year and then another game the year after that. It's only suggestive that it could happen, doesn't mean it will. Either way, a lot of fans don't care to have a better, outstanding experience, they just want more of what gets thrown at them. I'm sure if they came to understand just how the yearly release cycle is a quality-quantity compromise, they'd love to see just how great Assassin's Creed could be if this never returned. However, enlightening them to this would take more than my say-so. There need to be shown hard evidence, and one game, Origins, is only an outlier. It couldn't possibly support this on its own, and if the yearly release cycle returns too quickly, those who support it will not realise how giving too much is taking too much. And that's my problem with the possibility of a yearly release cycle coming back, and why I think this shouldn't happen. Okay, before we do wrap up, however, I would like to address that a lot of people also seem to think that when I'm criticising Assassin's Creed, that it's just hating on the franchise. That's bollocks. To hate on something is to rag on it unfairly without pointing out specific flaws, how they're flaws, and what can be done to make this better, simultaneously acknowledging the positives found along the way. I do provide what I consider to be constructive criticism. I mean, I try my best. I know it can sometimes be quite firm, sometimes quite harsh, but as is the nature of criticism sometimes, which I hope is helpful. I wouldn't really be doing this if I didn't want to be helpful, if you know what I mean. So, to wrap it all up, I really don't have any problems specifically with what we know about Odyssey so far because we know nothing. I'm only concerned about what Odyssey means for the franchise if it marks the return of annual releases. So, now that that's all out of the way, hopefully you all understand. Thank you all for watching. I do hope you all enjoyed this video. Be sure to go ahead, leave a like if you agree, obviously. Subscribe, share. Let me know what you think down in the comment section. That's crucial here. Your say is important. I want to know what you have to say. It really is nice to see people actually entertaining the debate as opposed to going, fuck you, Assassin's Creed is my life, because that doesn't help anybody. Be sure to go ahead, drop me a follow on Twitter, and I'll see you all very soon with another video at some point.